From the heart of God's country, in the midst of the Great Smoky Mountains, it's Knoxville International Christian Film Festival presents, featuring creative Christians from around the globe, honoring God in the spirit of excellence and service. Now, your host, Rob Ekno.
Hi, I'm Rob Ekno. Welcome to another exciting episode of Knoxville International Christian Film Festival Presents. I am already feeling the chills throughout my body of this story that you're about to hear. The film is called Reckless Mercy. We're going to see a couple of small clips of this award-winning feature film directed by Drew Adams in Ohio and guided by an amazing media professor in high school, Nathan Weidner. And Nathan is actually going to be our guest today and share a story that I had no idea until we started doing this interview. So, without any further ado, let's just get right to it and head to the great state of Ohio. As promised, up to the great state of Ohio and Nathan Weidner, the wonderfully brilliant media professor in high school. And this is so cool, Nathan, because I had a wonderful teacher in high school that I've remained in contact with for years. And it was him that helped set so many of us on a great career. So first of all, welcome to you. And thank you so much for taking on the assignment of giving the opportunity and providing your expertise to young adults to be able to go live a dream.
It's my pleasure. Honestly, it's been a wonderful ride. I've enjoyed every bit of it, and it's so fulfilling to be able to invest in the lives of these students and hopefully make more filmmakers.
Tell us about this first piece that we're about to see.
Well, Reckless Mercy, it has its roots back in the 90s. I was actually writing this initial story back then, and it just sat in a junk drawer. Drew was one of my better students. In 2019, he was taking my class, and he turned in a music video that just looked amazing. And at that point, I was asking him, what did you shoot this on? Because I know you didn't use the school's computers, and he said he shot it on his iPhone.
Wow.
So he really inspired me because I'd been waiting 12 years to do a film, and I never got enough money for it, and I just decided I would shoot the film on the iPhone 12. And so he inspired me to do that in 2021, and I kept telling him, I was like, man, I want to pay this back to you at some point. He was in college, he was studying film at the time, and it seemed like every time we had another project come up, he was either doing an internship like in Los Angeles or what have you. And finally his turn came up, and he was available. And I said, let's write something together. And he said, what do you want to write? And I said, well, go through my junk drawer and see if there's anything you like. And he found that one. And I was like, I was amazed because I'd forgotten that it existed, because it deals with murder. It deals with forgiveness. Yes. And in the interim, I had, in 2009, I'd had a daughter that had been murdered. And we had gone through the whole process of, the man being convicted and serving life, and then him writing me from prison 5 years later to ask me to forgive him for what he had done.
Wow.
So I had already lived through that whole process. And I told Drew, I'm like, man, I said, this is a God thing that you found this, because I'd forgotten that it existed. And now that I understand this so much better, I said, we definitely have to do this film.
So I'm sitting here listening to your story as you at home are listening to this story right now, and Nathan Weidner is in Ohio. And if I heard you correct, because my whole body went numb, you were technically the victim of having a daughter that was lost to someone, correct?
Yes. She was 10 years old. She had cerebral palsy.
Oh my.
And she was shaken to death. At that point, my wife and we'd been divorced for 6 years. And he shook her to death. And so this clip that I've submitted, this event actually happened in the aftermath of the trial. I went into a group therapy session once, and everything that you see happen in the scene actually happened. There was a criminology class that had showed up, and somebody had asked the question whether or not we would consider forgiveness as a means of healing. The room didn't accept it very well. At that point, God was already kind of working on my heart. Um, and but it was a very difficult thing. I wound up going back to that group. I felt really bad because there's so many people there who had experienced murder, and a lot of them didn't even know like who had killed their loved ones. It was still this mystery and a lot of pain in that room.
Wow. Who knew when I started this show today and when God told me to contact you that we were going to get such powerfulness? So let's start off with the first about 3.5 minute piece. If you're watching right now, you're going to see one of the biggest issues that plagues the world, and it's father son, father daughter relationships, and such the importance of having a great one.
He practically busts down my door just to tell me some lady died. Like, that sucks, but I don't know her and I don't care.
It's like he's from another planet. I mean, talking to him about Sinead O'Connor is like talking to a mosquito about a Boeing 747. Try that.
I swear, we couldn't be more different. He's too caught up in his own world to know what matters to me. Being a dad isn't his priority anymore.
Look, I get it. If we would have bumped into each other in some sort of crowded room, I don't think we would have formed any kind of meaningful relationship. We're just so different. But that's not how we met. He's my son.
Mom says that he still cares about me. He just shows it in his own way. That may be true, but is it too much to ask to be told that I'm doing all right? Just a, hey, Charlie, I see that you're working hard and you're stressed. You're tired and confused and scared. But I'm proud of you. Where's that at?
I'm just afraid the day's gonna come when we just call it quits and go our separate ways. And then what? I mean, all this time invested for what? Nothing? I don't know.
I love my dad, and I wish we were close, but I don't know. Maybe it's my fault. I'm trying so hard to be a good son, friend, student, and worker, but it's just too much. Maybe I'm just letting him down.
I love my son, but...
what?
I love my son.
Are we done yet?
Yeah, you can go.
Hey, I love you, son.
I love you too, Dad.
Bring it in, big guy.
Wow. Father and son struggles. If you watch the daily news, wherever you are, USA, whenever there's a challenging situation, the psychologists and stuff will usually come on and go, well, it's all about fatherless homes and not good relationships between dad and the kids not getting either the love or whatever it might be. which really puts a dagger into the way the household runs. That was a very, very powerful piece. Nathan Weidner, our beautiful guest today from Ohio, a high school media professor, and you worked with students, Drew Adams in particular, to put this together. What was it like for you after you just shared with us that you had lost your own daughter to someone, seeing the challenges in that one small scene that we just saw with the struggles and dads and children?
On the way to shoot part of this film, there was a sign on a billboard for the Shriners, and it's like a man never stoops, or a man never stands as tall as when he stoops to help a child. And the man who had done this thing to my daughter had quoted that, had misquoted it, and I'm not even going to like say what he did, but he just kind of on the day that he injured her, and it just really upset me. So I was on the way to shoot this film that day, and I saw that sign, and it took me back to him posting this online, and it just, that hatred came back, and I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, okay, so that's still in there. Apparently, we're gonna. I didn't realize I was gonna have to deal with that again. And so I get to set, and we're in somebody's home, and this lady has a verse a day on her refrigerator, and the verse that just happened to be on her refrigerator that day was, Lord, how many times must I forgive my brother? 77 times or 7 times, And so I'm like, I'm looking at that, and I'm realizing that God is like saying, we're going to work through this again. Yes, that's still in there, and we're going to work through this again. And I would say that by the time it was all done, my conception of the whole experience of shooting that film was, something, you've healed a bit, but it didn't necessarily heal that well. So let's open this back up. Let's clean this out a little again, and then we're going to sew this back up and heal it better. Wow. And that was by the time we were done, I felt like I had worked through it a whole lot better than I had years ago. So that's, I don't know if that answered your question.
Wow, that is such yeah, that is such insight that you just shared about the fact that, okay, I've done some work and I thought I was in a better place, which you were, but as far as God was concerned, there was still some more work to do. And he wanted, he asks, all he ever asks of us, right, is to just be our best version of ourselves, right? We're never going to be perfect human beings, but we can be very, very good human beings.
Somebody asked me recently, if you could go back and talk to your younger self, what would you tell them? And I said, I would tell them, it's like, hey, some really bad stuff's about to come, and this is not stuff you would want to happen, but to hang in there, because you're going to love where you wind up. And being able to share these stories and make these films, I don't believe that I could have achieved or arrived where I'm at without having gone through these things. And again, not glorifying what those things were, but just glorifying God for being able to bring me out of it in spite of what happened, and still just making something beautiful out of it.
Wow. I mean, I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes listening to your story, and, we never know how blessed we are. And to hear your story, and you're not the first one on this series of shows that we're doing. That's why I keep trying to tell Dorothy at Watchman Broadcasting, Dorothy, you have no idea the healing and all of the goodness that you're allowing to happen by allowing me to do this show and bring on these wonderful guests like Nathan here. So if you're just joining us, we are talking about a student project called Reckless Mercy, done in Ohio by a student named Drew Adams, of this handsome professor of media, Nathan Weidner here. And he shared with us a bit earlier that part of the story, and it is true life, in the fact that his own daughter was taken from him at the hands of another man. And so now, Nathan, we're going to go into one of the parts of the movie where you decided to go for help. Is that not correct?
Correct. Yep. It was a group therapy session. It really happened. I mean, almost verbatim the way. And there's a character in there that's asking the therapist, how would you do this? I basically wrote him to be a representation of me. His name's Ethan. And so you'll actually hear him say that he lost his daughter.
Mm.
So he basically is me in that room. I would say that throughout the rest of the film, though, I really did kind of deconstruct what God had taught me and the experiences I had and put them into the different characters of the film. But he's the most obvious physical representation of me in the film, and you'll see him in the scene.
I got the call at 5 a.m. They found his body in a car on the side of the road. He had been shot 6 times.
It's okay. Take your time.
I still don't know who did it. I thought saying goodbye at the funeral would give me some sort of closure, but knowing they're out there walking free haunts you. I still have no idea who murdered my Jimmy. Or why. I'm still terrified to be alone. I have trouble sleeping most nights. I know. But what if they decide to come after me?
That's not gonna happen, sweetie. I know it's scary, but you're gonna be okay.
I don't think I'll ever be okay. Even if they catch the monster who did this.
Knowing that the person who killed your loved one has been brought to justice can help, but still might not bring that closure. If any of that's happened to anybody here, would they be comfortable sharing their experience?
My name's Ethan. This is my first meeting. My daughter Danielle was murdered last summer by my ex-wife's boyfriend.
I'm so sorry. How old was she?
She was 10. I don't just know who did this to her. I actually spent time with this person. I sat next to him at her last birthday party. And it's surreal. You just don't know who people really are. What they're truly capable of.
Thank you for sharing that, Ethan. I know that wasn't easy.
So what do you recommend, Dr. Gregory? I mean, like, how do we get closure?
Some people find that establishing a memorial in their loved one's memory can help. Spending time working for a worthy cause. Others find comfort in their religion. Does anyone else have anything that they've done to help find closure?
We planted a tree in our backyard in our son's honor, and it helps to look at it some days and know that life can continue in some small way.
That's nice. I really like that. Anyone else?
May I say something?
Sure. Everyone, this is Savannah. She's a criminology student. She asked to join our session today so she can help better understand the impact that murder has on a victim's family. Go ahead, Savannah.
First, I just want to say how sorry I am for all of your losses. I can't imagine what you all have lived through. I'm just curious, do any of you think that you could find closure for your loved one's death by forgiving the person responsible?
You have a lot of nerve.
How can you forgive something like that?
I'm sorry, I
don't know what they're teaching you in college nowadays, but let me enlighten you, sweetie. Something of this magnitude is not absolvable.
I'm sure Savannah wasn't suggesting that we absolve them of guilt. I think what she was saying is that there's some sort of emotional benefit from forgiving the person that harmed your loved one. Right, Savannah?
How would one do that, Dr. Gregory?
Well, it can be as simple as writing it down or saying it out loud. Just getting the words out there can be powerful.
Please.
Don't get me wrong, it wouldn't be easy, but I know people who have shown significant healing by being able to do that.
Have you forgiven the man who killed your wife?
No, that would be difficult since he died in the accident as well. But I found closure in other ways.
What kind of ways?
A very powerful therapy session. You know, one of the things that I've learned in my years of recovery is that we talk about if you need outside help. This is the 12-step program I work. Don't hesitate to get it, right? We go through stuff in life, and everybody gets affected differently depending upon our life experiences that we go through, right? And some people have simple stuff, but they need therapy to go through it. You went into this and I don't know how you did it. Did you pray to God to get into therapy? What was it how much pain or what did it take for you to get in there? And then what would you suggest to anyone who might be going to anything that is really painful in their life?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. In the aftermath of her dying, I have two other children, and I wound up taking custody of them. And I knew I had to be the best version of myself for them. And I knew I couldn't do it on my own. So I definitely went into therapy to work my way through this. And I feel like, yeah, mentally, emotionally, it helped immensely. But my faith was also a huge factor in this, and being able to rely on God. And somebody asked me before, or they made a comment that, like, you know, how impressed they were that I would forgive the man, and I had to respond. I couldn't. I had a hard time putting it in words. And I said, well, don't be impressed with me. I said, because that is not humanly possible. I said, I didn't do that. Right. You know, it was really, you know, God does ask us to forgive. And at some point I realized that I loved God more than I hated that man. And because he had asked me to forgive, I would choose to do that. And I found that you don't forget. You don't forget what happened, but you can remember without so much of the hatred. And it helps to lean into God, to not focus on it and the incident and what happened in the past so much, but that to lean and focus on my faith in God and my relationship with Him, and to move forward with Him. And that's the only way that you can really get through something like that. Really, he gives you grace to be able to wake up every day and to actually do something positive with your life in the aftermath.
Wow, I'm just sitting here blown away. I have to imagine if you are watching this as well. We're talking with Nathan Weidner, a media high school professor in Ohio who worked with a group of students, one in particular, Drew Adams, who put this amazing 2-hour student film together. And I'm so blessed that you asked us to get a category so we could see this. Now, we can only show a few minutes as we have here in the show. If you missed any of this show, please, it'll be on our YouTube channel, KICFF Presents. And please go back there. If you're going through anything in life, Nathan is here sharing about the tragic loss of his 10-year-old daughter. What are you going through that you need help with that maybe you haven't learned to forgive yet? Maybe you're still hanging on and suffering on a daily basis. I don't know, but there's a reason why God had me call and contact Nathan to do this show. And there's a reason why Watchmen Broadcasting provided us with the opportunity to showcase this show. So someone, perhaps you, is looking for this message and needed to hear some answers today. Nathan, where could people see Reckless Mercy? Is it available online somewhere?
It is. It's on Amazon Prime. They can find it there. Right now, that's the only place it's currently streaming.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so Amazon Prime, Reckless Mercy, directed by Drew Adams and guided by the amazing media professor, Nathan Weidner. Nathan, I can't even begin to thank you for having the courage to say yes to me inviting you here, because I did not know your story until you just shared it with myself and you at home. And I truly hope that you are thankful as I am, and I believe you must be, that Nathan did this. I'll tell you what, Nathan, why don't you, if you can, in 30 seconds to a minute, would you mind praying us out? My name is Rob Ekno. On behalf of all of us here at Watchmen Broadcasting, thank you so much for being a part of our show. Brother Nathan is going to pray us out, and we pray that you have an amazingly blessed week. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Brother Nathan.
Okay. Lord, thank you so much for your mercies and your grace and your love for us, Lord, and for just being there with us as a constant in our lives. Lord, through the good times, through the bad times, you are our sustenance. You are our best friend. You care for us so dearly. And Lord, I just pray right now, anybody out there going through a painful experience, Lord, that you'll help them to be more aware of your presence. You'll draw them close to you, Lord, that you will hold them close and help them through whatever it is that they're experiencing, and help them to see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, Lord, and that there's hope. Lord, there's always hope, because our ultimate hope is you, and you can make beauty out of ashes. And we just thank you and praise you for all that you're doing in this world, all you're going to do for those watching here today. And thank you, Lord, for everything you've done for me. I love you. Amen.